Hello and welcome. My name is Michelle Montana. This is my interior design YouTube channel. I never know what to say about where we are. Thanks so much for stopping by. I hope you stick around and watch other stuff if you're new here. And if you're not new here, thank you for staying here. Today I'm excited. We're gonna do a fun little tablescape. I'm gonna talk about some things I'd like to see on tablescapes for spring and summer, and then we're gonna go and play around in my backyard and make up a little tablescape. So without further ado, I have my laptop here, so if I'm looking down, you know why. Let's start with the base. If you have a table that can seat multiple people, or even if you don't, if you wanna take these things on a picnic, you should do that too. However, let's assume that everyone has some sort of table to work with. You can leave it bare, of course, but I love fabric and texture. I think it adds just kind of like a nice polished element. You'll see my table when we go outside. It's a glass table with wrought iron base, and some of the glass is just kind of like seen better days. Typically in the summertime, when we have people over for just a casual dinner, just like family and stuff, we will not cover it because it's just like whatever. But if you wanted to do something nice and elevated, or like a tea party or something, I would put a tablecloth. I would prefer something like this, like vintage, or you can thrift it, or mine is actually an embroidered tablecloth from my great-grandmother. So hard flex on having my great-grandmother's passed down tablecloth, and it fits the table so perfectly, you'll see. And but I love the idea of just getting like lace fabric. I think that could be really pretty. I've done that before. I would avoid this kind of lace and go for something a little bit more like this, where it's a little bit more cotton mixed into the tablecloth. I like a more of like cotton lace than like a lace that's more like a veil. I don't know how else to describe. Something that has some sort of embroidery or is like almost patchwork. Like I really like this one. But yeah, definitely not a sheer lace, more like a cotton. Or just a plain linen, that's what mine is. A plain linen with some embroidery, or just plain linen. Doesn't have to have embroidery. I've said embroidery so many times. I definitely like the idea of taper candles. I don't even like the idea. I love the idea. I love taper candles. I always have them on my dinner table no matter what. I think for spring and summer, it's like fun to do. You could totally do white, especially if you have other color going on your table. But you could also, I'm probably gonna do white for the sake of this video because I'm gonna use what I have, and I'm not buying new things for this video because I'm not hosting a dinner party anytime soon. I love these different colored ones, like something like this, like pastel. Also so beautiful for like wedding tablescapes. Love that. Or like this, like all these like almost neon colors with the flowers looks so nice. Oh my gosh. So beautiful with the simple gold taper holders. I don't candle holders. I'm again just gonna use what I have. I have random vintage ones, so mine's gonna be kind of like a mix. These ones are really cool too. I like the rib detail, but whatever, you don't have to have any of these. You can just have plain white tapers and really pretty flowers. I definitely like an English cottage vibe in my house and in my tablescapes. I have plain like off-white dishware for every day, but in these situations it's fun to like have a more like layers and just different elements of pattern and color. So I'm definitely gonna be playing around with that, but I think you can really go with anything. And napkins, you can't skimp out on the napkins. I like something with a pattern if I'm lacking pattern in other areas. Like I have a bunch of different napkins. I'm gonna show them to you. So I'm probably not going to use these ones because I just pulled one out of my box and it has a stain on it. But these cute little tea ones, like, they're technically supposed to be more of like a cocktail napkin like this, but you could just fold it in half. No one needs like a whole napkin. Maybe they do. These are just plain. I think my mom got these on Amazon and gave them to me. So I like the little stripe detail. And then these ones, I love these ones. I'll link them. These my husband actually got for me from Etsy. They're like a red toile napkin, and I just think they're so pretty. I think they're like made from vintage fabric, but someone like made the napkins out of the fabric, you know? So they're kind of like made to order, so you can still buy these. But yeah, with plates, it really is fun to kind of like mix it up. Not everything needs to match. Like, it's just fun to have like different layers, especially if you don't have a tablecloth. It's fun to have a few different types of plates, especially for like your serving dishes or things like that. Just to kind of have like a mix on the table to bring a little bit more interest. I do have a tablecloth, so I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna play around, but I might try to keep my plates a little bit more simple. I have a lot of options, so we're gonna bring them all out and see what works best. But I like different colored plates and stuff. And pillows. If you had pillows, I don't have any, but that would be cute. Maybe I'll try to fashion something. And this detail, okay, I think I always skip out on doing name cards, but I wish I did more because it's like a nice detail. I just don't like to tell people where to sit, I guess. But I guess you can make them, just be like, take your name card and put it on your, I don't know, whatever. Or people can move. I'm overthinking this. I really like this ribbon detail at the bottom of these glasses. It might be a good opportunity to put a little name card thing around with the ribbon. Maybe that's what you do. You have like coops out or something on a separate table. Everyone grabs one with their name and then they can just put it at their place when they're ready to sit down for dinner. But that's like a good way everyone can keep track of their beverage. And I don't know. It's just a nice little detail. Sorry if I still sound congested, because I certainly am struggling through allergies, but I'm a lot better than I was last week. Last week I thought I was ill, but I realized I'm not. Okay, that's pretty much all I want to say about that. I do have a little kind of tutorial floral arrangements. If you have a more formal setting, I really like this. I showed this earlier of kind of like the spread out flowers. Like if you have a bunch of individual vases, I think that's such a great option, and it fills the table without having to spend that much money on flowers, because let's be real, flowers are expensive. And I was given a $100 budget for flowers for my in-laws. I did a tablescape floral arrangements for my in-laws who were having a dinner party a couple days ago, and I spent $85 and used all of the flowers on 3 separate arrangements. So I'm going to let you guys watch that now. You can skip over it if you don't feel like watching it, of course. I just kind of discuss what flowers I like to choose when I'm making arrangements of this caliber and how I kind of like put them together and how my thought process is. So you can watch that if you want to, and you are gonna see I went into my in-laws and took one back after their dinner, well, today, so that I could use it on my table outside for you guys. Go ahead and watch the floral arrangement segment, or skip it if you want. Hello and welcome to my living room. I'm going to be putting together some arrangements for a dinner party that my in-laws are having this evening. And they asked me to put some together, and so these arrangements are specific, in my opinion, for tablescapes. I think you could use them wherever you want because it's, I think, a good formula. But this is what I do when I'm building tablescapes. So I went to Trader Joe's. I'm gonna show you what I got. I didn't get anything fancy. I got things that you could get pretty much anywhere, hopefully. And they are seasonal, so this is a very springy arrangement. So without further ado, let's get into it. These are the vessels that I'm using. So I'm doing 3. If you want, you can make these like up to 2 days ahead of time. I would not do it any further ahead than that. But this is just normal sugar, sugarcane, baking sugar, like whatever normal sugar you have. And I'll just, at least at Trader Joe's, they don't typically come with the flour packets. So I'll just put like a tablespoon of sugar. We'll stir, let that dissolve. I didn't make this up, by the way, and I'm not taking credit for it either. This is a thing. But if you didn't know that this was a thing, I'm happy to teach ya. Okay. Very obviously, I got tulips. I got like a more pink color and a reddish color with some kind of yellow accents. And that's my color. Typically, what I like to do is use a hydrangea as a base. It's a nice filler, so you don't have to buy too many flowers, and it allows you to kind of like be creative with like sprigs coming out of it. You'll see once I arrange, but I like to use hydrangeas as the base. I just feel like it's a really easy flower to fill up a large base, especially if you're filling a large table as well. And then I just got random greenery. I honestly don't know what these are. See, some of them come in the crystal and then some of them don't. So I just, whatever. These look like this. I have no idea what this is. It looks like broccoli. So these, I'm pretty sure, are olive branches. I don't know for sure, but they look like an olive branch if they're not. I don't know. I thought that was like a nice symbolic gesture because my father-in-law is having a bunch of his colleagues over. Extending an olive branch, I don't know. And then for like a little pop, please don't fall. All right, I'm gonna start taking this stuff out. For like a little pop here and there, I just got these. They're called Crispidia. I don't know that that's true. You can obviously always trim things down, but you can't grow them back. So I'm gonna trim these a little long and then see how they look. And then I go back when I'm making the real cut and I cut them on an angle. With hydrangeas, because they are technically a woody stem, you can smash them with a hammer. Like you're literally supposed to like smash them with a hammer. But we're not doing that because I don't feel like it. So I'll just cut up. I hope you understand what I'm doing. But I'll just cut like up into the stem a few times so that it kind of looks a little mangy. Can you see? Sorry, I would normally be doing this in my kitchen and have a whole better situation, but if you have watched my videos, you know that my kitchen has like basically no direct light, so I just wanted to be in the sunshine. I feel like they could be shorter. I'm gonna let them chill there and then we can always cut them some more. And I don't think I mentioned, but these vessels are from At Home. They just have really good basic bases that aren't trying to like fit a certain aesthetic or anything. They're just like plain. I think that's good for now. We can always trim them a little bit more later. So now I'm gonna go in with the tulips since that's kind of like the star of the show. I wouldn't say they're like the main flower because obviously the hydrangea kind of is the second main flower. Like once we fill in with all of the tulips, then we'll fill in with more greenery. So that's how long that is. So I am obviously going to trim them a bit, but I don't think I want to trim them too much because I'm just going to play around with them a little bit and just see. It needs to be shorter. definitely also take the liberty of removing any ugly, broken leaves like this that's shredded. We have so much greenery, we won't miss it. I'm not liking how long these are, so I am gonna keep trimming them back, but also never forget to trust the process, because obviously right now this looks like dumb. But it's not going to stay dumb. The more flowers you put in and the more lush it kind of gets, it'll come together. Once I get to this point where I feel like I'm about like 70% full, then I'm going to start pulling in some of these like more filler pieces, because I don't want to like obviously use up all of these tulips. And I can always put more tulips in, because I bought 40 tulips. So 40 divided by 3, each one can have about 12 and 12. Yeah, each one can have like about 12. So start bringing in this little, I'm so anxious that this is going to fall. Just please don't. Sometimes I'll kind of measure by just going like this and standing it up next to, because then you can kind of see where it'll fall. See, it's like the perfect height. I wanted to go with something a little bit more textural like this, because one, it's just a bit more unique. Like if there's like some sort of greenery that I haven't really seen before, I definitely like to work with that. The leaves that, I'll put in an example, like I wouldn't go with something like this, or you know, like eucalyptus, or like anything like these. Eucalyptus is definitely, especially when you're doing like a tablescape, I don't like to do anything too fragrant, because it will kind of overpower your meal. And the first example, like the ones like this, they're just a little too obvious. I don't know. I feel like I just associate those with roses, and I just like to pair something a little bit more different. You know, just something I haven't really seen before. Okay, so that's looking really nice. And now I'm just going to fill in with a few more tulips to kind of pull the color back in. See, this one, it's like kind of too long. Maybe it's hard to tell from your angle, and I'm sorry that I don't have the budget for 2 cameras, but it is what it is. And if you feel like these hydrangea leaves are like too in your way, get rid of them. You don't need them. If there's just something that's like really not working, get rid of it, you know? Like a boyfriend. Okay, really like this. Going to fill in a couple more. I think that looks really good. Finishing touch. I bought these just for a little pop of something fun. I need another tulip in here. Cute! I think I'm gonna let there just be 5 of these, and you can always add more. Now I just have to work this olive branch in. I wanted these to be really unique, so I don't normally always like put in this many different varieties of flowers, but I think that's nice. this one is done. And I really like it. I think it looks really good. Okay. So I'm gonna stop talking and speed through the rest of these, and we can talk later, okay? That is it. I tend to like one large one for the centerpiece, and then slightly smaller ones for the sides. I'll try when the table is all set up to get a video, but I don't think I'm going to be able to, because basically they're setting up the table after cocktail hour is when they're going to set up the table so that there's more room for the rest of the time. But anyways. So this one you can see is like these two like a little bit smaller than this guy, but that's it. That's what I like to do. That's how I build my little tablescape arrangements. And I hope this was helpful, and I hope you guys are all enjoying spring and not all allergic like me. And that's it. Back to the rest of the video or whatever. I think it's time that we go outside and put together a little tablescape. Welcome to my backyard. So I'm gonna come down here and level with you guys. My backyard doesn't normally look like this. We finally did like the big clean. That we have a tree that sheds like crazy. So we swept everything, and normally this is over there, but there's like no foliage yet, so I put it against my landlord's house. That's not the back of my house. That's the back of my house. But we have like a shared courtyard, but we're the only ones that use it. So that's enough explaining, I think. Yeah, I just wanted a nice backdrop for the table. I think it looks pretty nice. As mentioned, the tablecloth. I'm going to show you up close what the tablecloth looks like. It just has so many different colors, and I love her little cross stitching. So that's our base. Just trying to decide what plates I want to use. I never used these ones. They were my grandmother's, which I inherited. And I think that'd be a nice little something different. Funny enough, I've actually only used these for like a photo shoot. I don't know which napkin. Probably these, but hang on. I used to have these really pretty pink dessert plates, and I thought they were in this bin, but I can't find them. I think I'm gonna change course because I had it in my head I had those pink ones, and I don't. I'm gonna leave one of these out. Table isn't quite big enough for 6 people and stuff in the middle, so I have to choose. And honestly, for this size table, I would not do this. All right. Okay. This is not what I had imagined for this video. Sometimes you just gotta adjust to what life throws at you. I don't want to completely destroy this, but I have some leftovers. So let me go get those. Sometimes you just have to be creative. These jars are ridiculous, but it's all I have. And I want it to be like that photo I showed you earlier, where it was like sporadic. Let me use this water. It was a little too perfect. Oh my God. Put this over there. Normally I would take the time to take these labels off, but I don't have the time. These can be our little serving dishes. I didn't have ribbon, but I had these like lacy bits. So I think I kind of want to do both. These are my new wine glasses. I just thrifted them, or rather found them at an antique mall. That's freaking adorable. I don't have 6 of these, so instead of getting out like 2 other random wine glasses, I just decided to use these coupes. I think they'll just be cuter for the sake of this video. Now I'm sad that this isn't for anything real because it's so adorable. I knew it was going to turn out well, but I didn't think it was going to turn out this cute. I'm really glad that I went with doing the small floral arrangements. I just think, at least for my size table, that worked out a little bit better. But the large ones were for a larger scale table, so that made sense. I think it turned out really well. I hope you guys enjoyed. If it was not informative, I hope it was at least fun to watch, and yeah, that's it. I had fun doing it. I'm gonna call some friends over for some wine now. Okay, see you next Sunday. Love you, bye.